Haley and I are headed north to Alaska. For her, it's a bucket list trip. For me, it's a time to reground, connect, and visit some childhood memories. With around 400,000 people in the Anchorage metro area, it's a shock to our small town systems, and we cut out as quickly as we can. This time of year, there is very little nighttime in Alaska. That doesn't keep Haley from sleeping 15 hours straight once we come to rest. I'm up a couple hours earlier and head out on a hike after having some coffee, leaving her with an FRS radio to communicate with me when she is up. Well, this would be the first critters of the trip. A couple of mountain goats up here. The truth is, you're just not a respectable Alaskan unless you have a decent-sized boneyard surrounding your house. Alaska is at the very long end of the supply chain, and stuff in general is hard to come by, so anything that might be useful later gets stored. We go through the side of a mountain to visit a busy shipping town. It's always humbling to see the amount of work that has been put in over the years to make things happen. Going all the way through the mountain. This is a place of real work, where shipping containers are loaded from boats onto trains for shipment through the tunnel into the interior. It's sure something to see, but we don't stay for long. Animals are sometimes where you find them. I'm surprised to see these caribou bedded down in a busy area between two towns. The late hours of the day find us driving up a good gravel road that runs for miles alongside a lake. We have our first bear sighting, a mama and her cub, right alongside the road, but the timber is too thick to get any video. The next day finds us back at the ocean, which makes Haley very happy. We spend time walking the beach and watching the water. This place where the mountains and the sea come together is so different than the desert where we live, and enchanting in its own way.
Collection.
Ever since I was a kid, Alaska has been synonymous for me with braided rivers making their way through broad glacial valleys where the life tends to congregate. It makes me happy to see. The fish aren't really in the river yet, but that doesn't keep the birds from keeping a watchful eye. Thanks to the early daylight and our desire to cover a whole lot of country to get to the next area, we're up early, driving and watching animals. After a lot of driving and nearly running over 3 caribou in the black spruce forest, we approach the part of the trip that I'm most looking forward to myself. As it turns out, we're also driving back into winter, or at least early spring, in the process. Well, maybe it'll help you see animals faster. I don't know. We're a ways south of the Arctic Circle, but this higher elevation country has an Arctic feel to it, particularly above Greenup. The birds are here, but not much in the way of larger animals just yet. We resolved to push on until we drop back down in elevation some. We find a nice looking spot on a lake to spend the night. Still above Greenup, but very suitable looking. There's a lot of moose sign about, both from last year and also the last hour, letting us know that moose are danger close, even though we don't see them.
And there's some cute ducks over there. They're pretty cute.
Morning arrives with a lower cloud ceiling, but the landscape remains arresting. Before too long, we happen upon one of our favorite animals, unfortunately dead.
He sure is a sweet little thing.
Get some more quills just from the back end.
It's not too long before Haley spots another porcupine that is alive and well. A moose soon follows, who in turn stirs up some caribou. Ptarmigan was the first game animal I ever took, and I still find they and their cousins the grouse very tasty.
Can't go.
Later that afternoon, after 2 days on gravel and the inevitable low-level concern about running out of gas, we find our way into an area where the animals are very habituated to people. It doesn't feel the same, but opportunities for video abound. We spend the night on a side road and then head north across the river towards another of my childhood homes. For what it's worth, it is really called Alaska Land, and I enjoy it just as much now as I did 45 years ago. The University of Alaska Large Animal Research Station is also worth the stop. We spent a lot of time as kids playing in these rivers north of Fairbanks, and I still like being on them. That being said, the landscape in this area of Alaska is underwhelming compared to the Rockies that I tend to compare everything to with my adult eyes. Haley agrees, and we head south a couple of days earlier than planned to spend more time in the southern portion of the state.
No. That's a false alarm, Jerry. I believe it's a log. I'm sorry.
I think there's a couple moose out there.
Maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah, there's a moose.
That's what I thought.
Quite a ways
Oh, here's
out.
one.
Yeah, they out right now.
I just got him on video.
Another night spent on a side road, and Haley encourages me to go for an early hike in these mountains before we head further south. I'm very glad she does. Snow accompanies us for the first part of the day as we head down out of the mountains and back to the ocean that Haley appreciates so much. I myself am pretty taken by this range of mountains down by the ocean and am just as happy to be back down here as Haley is.
Maybe a little bear will just come trotting across the road.
We come to rest in an idyllic spot in the mountains above the ocean and relax for the evening to watch the neighbors. know from my time in Alaska as a kid that I don't want to winter there. But Haley and I are both quite taken with this place where the mountains meet the ocean, and we make plans to spend more time as our lives go on.